Avenged Sevenfold is my favourite band. I celebrate their catalogue daily. And today we are going to be discussing that very catalogue with the help of both a tier maker list and a preference revealer. For anyone who's new around here, I have made videos in the past covering Avenged Sevenfold's discography, but those videos were made a long time ago and no longer represent my opinion on this band that I love so much. And since those videos, a brand new album by this very band has indeed come out, so it seems only right to update my thoughts on the band and where I stand as to what my favourite albums and songs are of this band nowadays, since my opinion has very much changed over the years. Okie doke, right, let's get on with this. So now if we cut to my screen, we have the A7X song tier list ready and waiting for us, with the Life is But a Dream songs sat right at the bottom there. And just on the other tab, we have Preference Revealer, holding every single song by Avenged Sevenfold up to present day, as you can see here. We're going to be ranking every single one, but we're going to start with the tier list. And we're going to go in order. So, to end the rapture, I'll put it in B. It's a solid place to start. Turn the other way, C. It's pretty good. It's decent. Darkness Surrounding. This one has a cool drum solo in there, I remember. I'm going to put it in B, but above End the Rapture. Art of Subconscious Illusion. Probably my favourite on 7th Trumpet, so I'm going to stick it in S tier for now. We Come Out at Night. I think it's on the same level as Turn the Other Way. Lips of Deceit. This one has a really killer opening riff that drills straight into my brain whenever I listen to it, so this one has to go A tier. Warmness on the Soul. A somber but a tiny bit melodramatic maybe. Not a bad first attempt at a ballad for the band. I'll stick it in B. Epic of Time Wasted. I've got no opinion on it. I'm sticking in D. Breaking Their Hold. I think this is the shortest Avenged Sevenfold song up to present day. For being a bit uninspired and short-lived, D. Forgotten Faces, I'm going to have to put in D as well, but I'll put it at the top of D for now. Thick and Thin I remember being quite fond of. I remember Streets being quite a good song, so I'm going to stick it at the top of A for now. And then Shattered by Broken Dreams is a first attempt at MIA, but I do love the shit out of MIA as a song, which is why I'm going to put it at the bottom of A. Alright, that's all of 7th Trumpet out of the way. Let's start doing Waking the Fallen, shall we? Right, starting with the title track, Waking the Fallen. Straight in the bin. It is a mostly pointless prelude to Unholy Confessions. When I stick on Waking the Fallen, the album, I don't want to be listening to this ambient synthwave opening track. I just want to get it straight into the good tunes, so no love for that song. Unholy Confessions, on the other hand, I might get crucified for putting it in B, but I do think it's just a smidge overrated. I don't know. I'll put it A, actually. I'll put it above Shattered by Broken Dreams. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is also really fun. Yeah, I'll stick it above Unholy Confessions, I think. I think I like Chapter 4 a bit more. Reminiscence is one of my favourites on Waking the Fallen, so I'm tempted to put it top of A. I think it is. I think it does deserve to be above everything else in A. Desecrate for Reverence is a fun, dirgy rocker. I'll stick it in B. Eternal Rest is a belter. I'll put it above Shattered by Broken Dreams, I think. Second Heartbeat is a live staple to this day, I think, or at least it has been for a very long time and is a fan favourite. And I believe rightfully so. I think it deserves to be above Chapter 4. Yeah, above Lips of Deceit. I think that's a fair spot. Radiant Eclipse. I used to not be a big fan of this one, but I think the years have been kinder on this song for me. So I do think it does deserve B. Putting it above End the Rapture, yeah. Warmness, yeah. I will put it above Desecrate. Yeah, I think it does go above Darkness Surrounding as well. I think that's a fair spot. Probably the objective magnum opus of Waking the Fallen, which is I Won't See You Tonight. Part of me wants to rank the two parts together, but clearly there is one part that's better than the other, and that is part 1, which I'm putting in S tier. Part 1 is, god damn, it is such a good song. I could go on for hours about how good I Won't See You Tonight is, but I'll just sum it up by saying that it is emotional, to say the least, and I love it. I love part 1. Part 2, on the other hand, is a tiny bit formulaic in comparison to its counterpart, I am going to have to put it in C, I think. I am really sorry if you like part 2, but part 1 is just so much better. If it were up to me, I would have put part 2 and part 1 into one track and just ranked them together. But Clairvoyant Disease, I'm also putting in S tier. One of my favourite songs of the whole band. Top of S. Absolute masterclass song. And then All Things Will End. I used to really not like this song very much, and I still don't love the final couple minutes. But I will admit, the song is really good until after the 5-minute mark. That's when it gets a bit weird, and I'm not very fond of it. So I'm going to split the difference and stick it in B. Right, and that's all of Waking the Fallen out of the way. And I am just realising now just how small this tier list is. So I'm going to make space for the albums to come, and I'm going to micromanage these songs and divvy them up equally between these new tiers. Right, so add a couple rows below. Thank you. Just going to color coordinate them real quick. Don't mind me. Right, and then obviously this one's E, and then this one is F. Just quickly do this real quick, just micromanaging them. So then the Rapture's probably still D, and then Warmness is probably top of D. Yeah, there you go. And now I've split A tier in half here, so that now we have more space, because there's going to be a lot more songs that will make it to A tier as time goes on. So there we go, that's our updated tiers as follows. There won't be much more shimmying around between songs until the end now. Right, City of Evil. Oh, let's do this. Beast in the Harlot is a fucking classic. I do kind of want to put in A, but I know that there are songs better than it, so I'm going to stick it at the top of B. Burn It Down, also a B tier. I'll stick it behind Unholy Confessions, I think. There you go. Blinded in Chains is also excellent. I will stick it in A tier. Backcountry, the same opinion that I have with Unholy Confessions is with Backcountry, in that it's good, but it's overrated, which is why it's going at the top of C. Trashed and Scattered is excellent. I'm going to put it behind Lips of Deceit. Seize the Day is my least favourite on City of Evil, I think. So for that reason, I'm going to put it at the top of E. No, I think it deserves bottom of D. Sidewinder also isn't a very memorable moment on City of Evil, which is why it's going to go top of D. Wicked End is solid. I'll stick it above Radiant Eclipse. Strength of the World, thank you, straight up to S tier, above Art of Subconscious Illusion. Betrayed is a banger as well. I'll put it at the bottom of B for Betrayed. And then MIA, top of A. City of Evil has now been covered. Look upon this list and despair. The opinions are only going to get more divisive as this video goes along, I promise you. Right, we're going on to the self-titled now. Critical Acclaim. This song is a classified banger. I think it does deserve B, but there are so many songs that are in B already. I'm going to put it at the bottom of A for now. Almost Easy, much like Backcountry, is a tad overrated, which is why I'm going to stick it right next to it. Scream, I have a soft spot for. I'm going to put it above Burn It Down. Afterlife, god damn do I love Afterlife. I'm sticking it top of A. Gunslinger, I have warmed up to over the years. I think it's a fun little experiment of a song. So for that reason, I am going to put it in B above Lips of Deceit. Unbound the Wild Ride, unfortunately, however, is not one of my favourites. It's always a song that I end up skipping when I'm listening to self-titled, which is why this is going to be the first song from self-titled in F. Don't love it very much. Top of F though. There you go. Brompton Cocktail goes straight up to A. Lost is also really fun. I'll stick that in C. A Little Piece of Heaven, S tier. Easy, S tier this one. I'm going to stick it above all of them. This is the new top of the top. But Dear God, on the other hand, is another one that I never find myself wanting to listen to very much. Of the Avenged Sevenfold ballads, this is not one I find myself having a hankering to listen to if I'm looking for a more somber, slower paced song by this band, which is why it's going top of F. Right, there you go. That's going to rile up some opinions already, but it's only going to get more controversial from here. We now have Diamonds in the Rough, which I notoriously put at the top of my original album ranking for this band. Right, Demons. This is going to go in B tier. The cover of Paranoid, I'm going to put in E. It's a decent cover, but that's really all it is. What I look for in a cover is the band taking what already exists of the song and making it sound like their own. And this has not got that criteria for me. Girl I Know. This song I notoriously don't love. The lyrics are cheesy, cringy even. The hooks in it are decent enough, but just to be fair, I did put Unbound down there, which means I'm going to have to put Girl I Know down there as well. Crossroads, on the other hand, goes straight up to A tier. Top of A tier, in fact. Flash of the Blade, just like the Paranoid cover, has to go down. I'll put it in D, actually, because I do like this cover a bit more. Tension! I fucking love this song. I'm going to put it in A, above MIA. Until the End, I'm going to put in B, above Gunslinger. Walk, much like the Paranoid and Flash of the Blade cover, doesn't really expand on the existing song, which means by default it has to go low in the estimations. The Fight, a fun little tune that you can stick on. I'll put it in C tier. Dancing Dead, S tier, thank you very much. And I'm going to put it here. St. James, another absolutely phenomenal song. Bottom of S tier. Set Me Free, this is definitely an A tier song. I'll put it behind Streets. 4 AM, I used to love this song a bit more than I do now. I'm reckoning a C tier, but where? Above Wicked End? Yeah, above Wicked End seems fair. And then Lost It All, a fun little thrashy banger. I think bottom of C is fair for this song here. Right, now we have the Nightmare album. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. So, Nightmare, the song itself, I am going to have to put in A tier. Above Brompton Cocktail. Welcome to the Family is another absolute belter. I'm going to stick it at the top of B. Danger Line, another fucking banger. I'm going to stick it at the top of C. Buried Alive, thank you. Straight to S tier. Natural Born Killer, bottom of A. So Far Away is the most formulaic classic rocker of the album, but the emotion that's felt in this song propels it to at least, I want to say, a C. So I am going to put it above 4 AM. God Hates Us, one of the heaviest songs the band's ever done. I'm going to put it above Until the End. Victim is such an emotional song. I've got to put it in A, above Reminiscence, I think. I think that's fair. Tonight the World Dies, straight into S tier, above Strength of the World. Fiction, same story. Sorry, just has to be. And then Save Me. This one is top of A, I reckon. Yep, seems good. Holy fucking shit, Nightmare has just completely rocketed to the top half of the list. Holy shit, man. Right, now we have the Hail to the King album to go through now. So, Shepherd of Fire, a song that does have a close place to my heart. I am going to have to put it above Danger Line. Hail to the King, the monolith itself, I'm gonna go with B tier, but where? I think I'll go and put it above Beast and the Harlot. Actually, no, just behind it. Doing Time, fun little rocker, but mostly a bit of filler. I'm gonna go and put it above To End the Rapture. This Means War, good headbanger. I'll put it above Wicked End. Requiem, interesting song, quite cool in theme, but mostly just smoke and mirrors. I think I'm going to go E for this one. Crimson Day is emotional, classic rock ballad. I'm going to go and put it in D tier, above Warmness on the Soul, because it is a better ballad than it. Heretic is a great one. I'll put this one in... yeah, I'll put it in A tier, and I'm going to put it above MIA. No, above Victim. Coming Home is one of my favourites of all time, so in S tier it goes. Planets is a mostly forgettable track, so unfortunately I am gonna have to put it at the bottom of E. And then Acid Rain, I am also going to put in E. No, actually, I'm going to put it in D. I'll put it in D, above Seize the Day. Right, Hail to the King is out of the way. Now it's time to cover the stage. We have the song itself, the stage, which is... I think it does deserve A tier for sure. Is it an S tier song though? I don't think so. Not for me at least. But then again, oh, it is really good. I'll put it at the top of A. I think it deserves that. Paradigm, I will put in a high D tier. Sunny Disposition is a fun little tune. I'll put this one in C tier. Behind Danger Line. There you go. Goddamn is a fun little rocker. The most formulaic song on the stage. I'll put it at the bottom of D. There we go. Creating God, I have no love for this song. I've really tried with it. I still don't love it very much. I'm going to stick it behind Forgotten Faces. Angels, I have warmed up to this one a little bit. I'm going to go and put it in, I think C tier is a fair spot for this one. Simulation is a fun little experimental, I want to say industrial style song. I am going to go ahead and plop this one at the top of C. Higher is a song that I have really grown to love over the last couple years, which is why I'm putting it in A tier. I'm going to put it above Tension. I think that's a good spot. No, above Afterlife. Roman Sky is a really emotional ballad, has some orchestral elements in there as well. I think this one does deserve at least a C. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put it at the bottom of B. Fuck it. Off you go. Enjoy. Fermi Paradox is a song that I have warmed up to a lot over the years, much like Higher, which is why I'm going to put Fermi Paradox at the bottom of A tier. And then Exist is an easy S tier song, above St. James, above I Won't See You Tonight Part 1. Yeah, that's a good spot. There you go. And now we have the bonus tracks of the stage to go through now. We have Dose, which I don't have that much attachment to personally, which is why I'm going to put it at the top of F tier. It's not dreadful, but nothing to write home about. Retro Vertigo is the sign of a really good cover. All of the stage bonus tracks we'll be talking from here on out are all covers, and most of them do a good job of covering an existing song but making it sound innately Avenged Sevenfold. And Retro Vertigo is one of those. It really does take the existing song and really elevate it to new heights, which is why I am going to put it in B tier, above Until the End. Malaguana Salarosa. My opinion on this song has changed so much since the last time I did this song ranking thing. This is going to go in A tier. Bet you weren't expecting that one, huh? But this is an absolutely excellent cover. Runaway, on the other hand, is a tiny bit forgettable, which is why I'm going to put it at the bottom of E. As Tears Go By is kind of the same story, so I'm going to also put it in E, but I'm going to put it above their cover of Walk at the very least. Wish You Were Here is an emotional cover, but I don't know how much it does elevate the existing song that it covers, so I am going to have to put this one at the bottom of D. And then God Only Knows doesn't really go that much higher, but it's get it? Higher? I'm so funny. I'm going to put it in the middle of D. Right, now we have Black Rain. Now these are singles that were recorded for the Call of Duty Zombies maps respectively, but they were later compiled into this Black Rain EP for our enjoyment on Spotify. So Not Ready to Die is an S tier song. I won't have any arguments about it. It's just the truth. It's gonna be above Fiction, above Clairvoyant Disease. I think it goes above Coming Home. Yeah, I think it does. I think that's a good spot, to be fair. That seems good. Carry On is another one that I really love. It was one of the first songs I heard of the band. I think a low A tier seems fair for this one. Mad Hatter, same story, though I don't have the nostalgia attached to this one. But it is still a cracking song, which is why I'm going to stick it at the top of B tier. Jade Helm, on the other hand, I have no love for. It is just a collection of ambient and background soundtracks that Avenged Sevenfold recorded to play during the Call of Duty multiplayer games, I believe, and I never find myself wanting to listen to this, and the gaps between each of those sections are so fucking jarring that I just can't be arsed with it most of the time. So I'm going to stick it still above the Waking the Fallen intro. God damn, do I hate that intro that much? Guess so. And now we move on to their latest album, Le Bad, which is very much not Le Bad, as you'll find out very soon. Game Over is a cracking opener. It's a fun, fast rocker that ebbs and flows and has smooth, mellow moments as well. I'm going to stick it in A tier, above Fermi Paradox. Actually, above Natural Born Killer. Mattel is another A tier song, and this one goes above Tension. Nobody is an S tier song. No doubt about it, but where? I'm going to stick it behind Exist for now. We Love You is another song that I have a fucking attachment to big time. Another A tier song, I reckon, here. Holy shit. This might just be recency bias, but I don't really care. This is going above Streets. Actually, yeah, above Reminiscence. Cosmic is a beautiful song. I'm going to stick it straight in S tier. Beautiful Morning is probably my least favourite on the album, but that doesn't make it bad. And I'm going to put it behind Danger Line. Yeah, that seems like a good spot. Easier is a corker as well. It's a fun little rocker, but with some really serene, soothing electronic elements as well. The song's fun. I think this one's a good B tier, a strong B. I think this one deserves to be above Demons. There you go. Now we have the God Trilogy. Right, so G, I'm gonna put it above Burn It Down. There you go. Ordinary, which is anything but, if you've actually heard the song. I really like this one too. I am going to go and put it in a high B, behind Mad Hatter. And then the song Death is fucking gorgeous. It's a gorgeous song. So much so that I am so tempted to just put it in S. But I'm going to refrain from the recency bias. I'm instead going to put it in a high A tier. I'm going to put it behind Save Me. There you go. And then the title track of the album, Life Is But a Dream. This one is a fun tune. I do actually find myself listening to it on its own merits, not just because it's an interesting closer. I think this is a C tier song though. I think it deserves to be placed just above Beautiful Morning, just for the novelty that it is, maybe. I think that's my list. Right there you go. There is the tier list of Avenged Sevenfold songs ranked in my own humble opinion. Obviously, you can swap and change songs around everywhere up here in S tier. Like, for example, what is my favourite Avenged Sevenfold song? One day it'll be Little Piece of Heaven. The next day it'll be Cosmic. The next day it'll be Buried Alive. The next day it'll be Dancing Dead. The next day it'll be Not Ready to Die. Next day it'll be Coming Home. The next day it'll be Fiction. Like, there's no right answer as to what, like, the very tippity top of S tier is, which is why I'm just going to leave it alone and say that all of S tier is, like, my favourite songs, right? So, right, there's my tier list done. Now let's move over to Preference Revealer. Why am I doing it, you ask? Well, ranking these songs on Tier Maker is a very subjective, opinion-based tier system, whereas Preference Revealer is objective as they come. Because essentially what this is pitting one song against another, and I have to pick between them. And eventually it lists them all out. Burn It Down or End the Rapture? I'll put End the Rapture. I'll go Mad Hatter for there. Demons or Planets Demons? Tonight the World Dies over Crossroads. St. James over Darkness Surrounding. Or Breaking the Hold or Jade Helm. I don't know, they're both a bit wank, aren't they? I'll put Breaking Their Hold. Tension over Trashed and Scattered. Little Piece of Heaven. Shepherd of Fire. Ordinary. Game Over. Oh, wow. We're going to be here a while. I'm going to speed up a lot of this, and I'll just show you the highlights of me picking and choosing between songs. Afterlife, Unholy Confessions, Crimson Cocktail, Not Ready to Die, Coming Home. Fiction or Dancing Dead? Holy shit, that's a tough one. Fuck me. I'll go Fiction. Coming Home over MIA, I guess. Save Me or Streets? I'm gonna go Save Me. Exist or Death? I'm gonna go Exist. Little Piece of Heaven or Tonight the World Dies? Fuck me, that's tough. A Little Piece of Heaven, I guess. Cosmic over Mad Hatter. Cosmic or A Little Piece of Heaven? Holy shit, man. These are so shitting tough. Oh, God. Oh, A Little Piece of Heaven. I don't know. Exist. Coming Home. Hello, please heaven. I'm having a stroke. Cosmic. I said cosmic. Cosmic. Save me. Please save me. I'm begging you. Strength of the World over Nobody. Dancing Dead over Strength of the World. Tonight the World Dies over Strength of the World. God Hates Us. Attention. God Hates Us. 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 Wicked End. Chapter 4. I think we're nearly the end. Darkness Surrounding. Forgotten Faces. Dear God, let this fucking end. So far away. All things will end. Wicked End. Come on, Wicked End. Demons. Ordinary. Set me free from this fucking video, please. Sidewinder. Oh my god, we finally did it. Oh my god, that took way too long. I don't know how much of that is going to be in the video, but holy shit, that took ages. Let's look at the findings now, shall we? Okay, right down at the bottom, we have No Surprise, Jade Helm, Creating God, Waking the Fallen, We Come Out at Night, Girl I Know, Turn the Other Way, etc, etc. Yeah, these bottom ones are no surprise to me. There's no way in hell you're gonna see me go through this entire list with a fine tooth comb. Interestingly enough though, the usual suspects that were in my S tier are also at the top of the list here, like A Little Piece of Heaven, Fiction, Cosmic, Buried Alive, Not Ready to Die, Coming Home, Dancing Dead, Tonight the World Dies, Strength of the World, Clairvoyant Disease, Art of Subconscious Illusion, Nobody, I Won't See You Tonight Part 1. Those are all songs that I constantly play and on repeat, and clearly I rank them highly objectively and subjectively as well, so it just goes to show you. I don't know what it goes to show you. Maybe it goes to show you that I have too much fucking time on my hands, even though I fucking don't. This video took way too long. And we're still not even done yet, because we have still got to rank the albums at large. As you can see here, we have all of their albums here, and we're going to finally update my album rankings for Avenged Sevenfold before we close out this video. Let me change these tiers into something that isn't Spanish. Masterpiece, classic, good fun, does the job. Boom, right, let's do this. I do just want to preface this by stating the blatantly obvious that this is my favourite band of all time, and every album that you see down here has at one stage or another in my life held the mantle of being my favourite album of all time. So every single album here I do love to pieces. It just so happens that one album has to go at the top. Once again, we're going to go in chronological order. Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. It does the job. It's a fun, if not slightly flawed and poorly produced hardcore record. You see the start of the metalcore genre that Avenged Sevenfold would mostly pioneer and move into from this one. But for the most part, the high points of this album don't reach the heights that their later albums do, which is why this is still my least favourite Avenged Sevenfold record. That doesn't make it bad though, just makes it the worst of a great bunch. Right, Waking the Fallen. Fucking masterpiece. This one has some absolute certified bangers in here. Even during their metalcore era, you see experimentation through songs like Clairvoyant Disease and I Won't See You Tonight, etc. And the absolute leap in quality between Seventh Trumpet and Waking the Fallen is absolutely astounding and frankly impressive. Which is why Waking the Fallen is just shy of being in the top, tippity top of the list. Right, City of Evil. Absolute fucking classic, boys. This one is too ambitious for its own good, which is the main reason it slapped dead in the middle of the tier list. The runtime of every song on this album, I believe, cracks the 5-minute mark, which just shows you how much heart and soul and blood, sweat and tears these guys put into every single song on this album. But overall, this album does feel a bit too crowded, in my opinion. Like, too many ingredients does overcomplicate the dish in some ways, and I think that does apply to City of Evil. But the ambition here is apparent, to say the least, and to call this your favourite Avenged Sevenfold album is not something that I can blame you for if that's what you indeed do. Right, self-titled album. In good fun, it goes. This one might come as a shock, considering I put Little Piece of Heaven right at the tippity top of my song tier list videos just now. But overall, this album, I feel like has a tiny bit of a midlife crisis overall. There are some amazing songs and there's some amazing writing, but I feel like this album doesn't know what direction it wants to take. The front half of the album is very much akin to the City of Evil, Waking the Fallen type of energy. Fast, intense, but a bit experimental at times. But then the back half, that's where some of the gems are, but also where some of the turds are. Little Piece of Heaven, Brompton Cocktail, even Lost to an extent. Those songs are so fun, so different, and so experimental and ahead of their time for Avenged Sevenfold's entire career. But then Dear God feels like a very formulaic, bland ballad opera song. And then Unbound the Wild Ride, I don't have any love for that song either. But it does have some highlights, like I say, like Afterlife and Scream and Critical Acclaim and even Gunslinger to a degree, which is why it lands in good fun, because it's good fun, but not without some sore spots in there. Right, now we have Diamonds in the Rough. Now, we are sticking this up in Masterpiece, and here's why. The way that I am ranking Diamonds in the Rough is through every version that it's come to exist as. So it landing in Masterpiece is due to it having those additional tracks from 2020 with Lost It All, 4am, St. James and Set Me Free. But I'm also including in there the Live at the LBC performance that came with the original version of Diamonds in the Rough, which, like I said, gives it massive points. To put it plainly, this album has been with me through some serious tough times, man. And yes, some of the covers on this album are a bit bland and don't really expand on the original song that it's covering, as I've said already in this video. But overall, this album still has some of my favourite Avenged Sevenfold songs on here. Crossroads, Dancing Dead, Set Me Free, St. James, Tension. There's just so much to love on here, and I'd be doing a disservice to my younger self if I weren't to put this at least in Masterpiece, if not in the very top. But there we go. There we go. That was Diamonds in the Rough. Now we move on to Nightmare, which goes all the way up to the tippity top, my favourite. This may come as an absolute shock. I did warn you my opinion has changed drastically since the last time I've ranked A7X. But if the previous 30 or so minutes of this video are anything to go off of, the vast majority of the Nightmare tracks on this album land in the top half of the list or above. Buried Alive, Tonight the World Dies, Fiction, all landed in like my tippity top of my tier list and on the preference revealer. There's never been a time where I haven't absolutely adored Nightmare, but there also haven't been many times where I've actually entertained the possibility of it being my number one Avenged Sevenfold. But it really makes sense that it actually is my number one because of the sheer quality overall and the sheer emotion and darkness and creativity in there, the variety of songs, and then also the story behind it with its actual inception of it being written with the entire band doing it with the Rev before him shortly passing away, which led to the band saying, fuck it, we're going to finish this album for the Rev if it's the last thing we do. Which is why this album, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of what Avenged Sevenfold has to offer musically. Yeah, that's all I have to say, I think, on this album. But yeah, it does stand at the top and as my number one album of Avenged Sevenfold. And now we have Hail to the King. It's good fun. This might shock people, much like Nightmare being up here, Hail to the King being down here with self-titled. That might be the biggest shock of this video, because I believe I put Hail to the King as my second favourite in the original album video. I think the main reason Hail to the King has dropped this low is just because I've listened to it too many damn times. And on top of that, I've gotten a lot more into songwriting and song structure and also prog in general. And that's led me to appreciating the more experimental albums of the band's career, like City of Evil, Nightmare, or the ones we'll get to. Whereas Hail to the King feels like a very straightforward, heavy rocker. And that's not to say the songs on this album are bad. They are definitely not bad. They still have such a close place to my heart. But overall, I don't find myself revisiting this album as often as I used to. And you can attribute that to, like I say, the amount of times that I've heard it over the years and just getting burnt out from it. Right, now we move on to the stage, which I am obviously going to be including the deluxe version, which has those bonus tracks. And I'm going to plop this at the top of Classic. Betting the City of Evil, it's ambitious, just like City of Evil, but it does what City of Evil does to better effect. It's obviously more innately proggy, which might be why I favour it more nowadays. But also, there are just more songs that I've warmed up to on this album over the years, with, like I say, Higher, or Fermi Paradox, or even Angels, for an example. And then, like I say, the bonus tracks of Malaguana Salarosa, and the cover of Retro Vertigo, which frankly I've always loved. But then, and just obviously straight bangers like Sunny Disposition and The Stage and Exist. It really does deserve to be up there with like some of Avenged Sevenfold's best work. But yeah, there you go. That was The Stage. Now we move on to their latest album, Life Is But a Dream, which won't be much of a surprise, but it is going into the top tier, just behind Nightmare. Maybe that's a surprise for you, maybe it's not. Who knows? I mean, the sheer fact that ever since the album's come out, I have not shut up about it, just goes to show how much I love it. It hasn't beaten Nightmare for me yet, and I don't know if it ever will, but only time will tell. Just for argument's sake, let's also include the Black Rain EP and the Pinkly Smooth album. So for Black Rain, I'm going to plop it just behind Hail to the King, for the sheer only reason is just the lack of runtime. The songs in there are all bangers for the most part, with the exception of Jade Helm, but it is just the fact that it is a quarter the length of a full-length album, and I can't warrant it getting the same praise as most of the albums on there. And then the Pinkly Smooth album can go just behind Waking the Fallen, because yeah, Unfortunate Snort, though the name is funny and a bit dumb, the album is great. Necromance Theatre is great, Mesmere is great, McFly. It's a banging album, and mad respect for the Rev for putting that magnificent piece of music together. But there you go. That has indeed been me ranking every bloody minutiae of Avenged Sevenfold's back catalogue into various tier lists and preference revealers, and now we're done. I can rest, my voice can rest, and my sanity can finally rest. But yeah, that has indeed been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you disagreed with me, which is very likely that you did, post your own opinions in the comments below. Also, if you want to post your, maybe not your entire song ranking of the whole band in there, but maybe put your top 10, top 15, top 20. It's up to you. I only ask that you don't argue about it, because that's not fun. Takes the fun out of this thing, doesn't it? But yeah, that's it. I'm done talking about my favourite band, for this video at least. Yeah, that's it. See you later. Goodbye.